All right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. 6 o'clock by my cell phone. Welcome to the October 6th, 2025 Commissioners Meeting. There are Title VI forms in the back corner by the door if you'd like to fill one of those out and turn them in to the auditor's office. Christy, would you like to lead us in the pledge of allegiance?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And if you could just remain standing, Ken Mobley is going to lead us in prayer.
Heavenly Father, Lord, we thank you for this day. Thank you for this group of men and women who are coming to discuss the businesses of our county, and that you give them wisdom and to make sound decisions that will guide this county. Father, we just give you all praise in everything that we do, and ask these things in your name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Ken. All right, we'll start first with the minutes for September 15th. You guys had an opportunity to go and look at those.
I didn't see anything out of order.
I didn't either. All right, I'd entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
A second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. The executive session minutes for September 15th.
I'll make a motion to approve the executive session.
I'll second that motion. Any discussion? Brian, anything from you?
No.
Gabe? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. The special session meeting minutes, you guys have an opportunity to look at those.
I did make a motion to accept these.
I'll second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. And then finally, the special session minutes for the September 26th.
I didn't have any questions. Neither did I.
All right.
I'll make a motion to approve the September 26 minutes.
I'll second that.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. All right, moving on to claims. You guys have any questions in claims?
I did not have anything for claims.
I did and do, where Christie's going to look into it, but there was a train charge for Bridge 63, driving pylons for 2 different days. One was on 7/31, one was on 8/1, but it was the exact same charge. So were they just there 2 days driving pylons, or was it?
2 days driving pylons on each side.
Okay, I don't have any other questions.
All right, I'd entertain a motion to approve the claims.
So moved.
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. Looking at payroll for September 26, 2025. Looks like the total amount is $403,852.20.
I wouldn't see anything in there that's, I would make a motion to accept the payroll.
The only question I had, are folks just not sending us any of the information on the work from home anymore?
No, they probably are. I probably forgot to note it.
Okay, that's fine. That was the only question that I had. If it's just, if no one's working from home now.
No, there's a couple. I think
Okay.
I just forgot to note it in there.
I mean, I know.
Way to take ownership.
Thanks, Myra.
All right, I didn't have any other questions.
I'll make
I
a motion to approve payroll.
have a motion, I'll second that. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Payroll is approved. That's that now, thank you. All right, Todd Houck with the Highway Department.
Well, good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening.
Well, since our last meeting, we still continue to do the maintenance items, grading roads, also grading roads, widening for chip and seal. We've been mowing and spraying roadside for vegetation. installed some culverts, sign maintenance, along with other activities through the week. Bridge 63, the bridge deck is set, guardrails up. The approaches are poured, and we should be getting ready to put the waterproof membrane down and pave over the bridge for completion. So we'll hope to have that opened up next week or so. Bridge 167 from Westport on 1100 South. We've been preparing down there, doing some mulching of some vegetation and also locations, water line and different things. Apparently Westport marked the water line. It was about 35 foot off the mark. So we hit the water line. Anyhow, we'll continue to work down there to prepare. Once we get done with 63, we'll move in and start on 167. The FEMA documents have all been submitted to Mike. It's Mike Williams. But anyhow, we got all the documents sent in to him. One of the things that came up was mitigation. One item that we went to mitigation, or wanted to propose them for mitigation, was the bridge down by Lake McCoy on Boulevard Lane. We called United to help us put an estimate together. That's what I handed you earlier, is a agreement for them. So if you have any questions on that, that would be questions for John. But evidently as far as that particular section of roadway, the design was to come down off 46 on the, basically from 400 South, you come into that first entrance and then come down there, and put a cul-de-sac in. Basically just make that a dead end road, take the bridge out or close the bridge. So there'll be just one entrance coming into Lake McCoy. The only access on the other side that would be needed is a gentleman that put a driveway in on the other side of that bridge. But that was her recommendation to keep costs down for the county. And,
Does the school bus go through there?
I'm sorry?
School bus, does it go through there?
School bus comes, typically they do come down there, but this roundabout will be big enough for them to turn around and come back out.
And what about a fire truck or any kind of emergency vehicle?
So it'll be big enough for all that.
And so what exactly is this agreement for, Todd?
So we put together an on-call agreement with, after discussions with the highway department, we put together an on-call. And so the agreement is just basic on-call. And then there's also a task order just to put this FEMA application funding information together. So there was construction cost estimate, plus our discussions on scope, things like that we put together that they were able to submit.
Yeah.
So this was just submitting to FEMA what your recommendations are, how to.
Correct. When they go to mitigation for Decatur County for that particular project.
Okay.
So we needed to have that turned in by Friday. I think John sent me over the documents. Actually, I went into work Friday, emailed you guys so you know ahead of time. But anyhow, I'm supposed to have another meeting with FEMA on Wednesday, Teams meeting. So, but I know he called last week. He couldn't be there. There was a death in the family or something. So he rescheduled it for that. I think I'm booked up for the whole month of October and September on these FEMA meetings. So anyhow, I haven't heard anything from him for a week. So I'll have a meeting with him Wednesday and probably have an update then, but we've got everything submitted to him. That's what he was after, all the information, documentation, broke out in Cat A, Cat B, Cat C.
Well, your email, what I remember reading that email, sent us about the reason for this,
Oh, yeah.
the need for it. Right?
Yeah, so it's a breakout of labor, materials, equipment. So we'll be able to recoup 100% of that cost, but it's still 75% of 100. So
I'm guessing that's the bridge where the dam is.
correct,
Right.
correct.
Can you touch on that a little bit?
Well, they put this when they,
Spillway.
yeah, apparently before I came on to the county years ago, the spillway was failing. So they had to come in and redo that spillway.
They put interlocking blocks in there.
Yes.
And it didn't work.
Yes. So they moved the spillway to the other side, which it does not drain right down to the bridge. Okay, it's the main stream. It comes down the hill and runs along the roadside, tearing the road out. So our thing was, we've had damage on that probably the last 3, 4, 5 big rains. And last time we sent them photos, the last time, the very first time I went out there, it eroded the road out probably 4 foot. And I don't know how many loads of stone we took in there. So it's a constant repair job every time we get a heavy rain event. So I was in agreement with Tim that we should go after that for FEMA mitigation. My only question to Bill was, is the county do they incur the cost, or does FEMA take care of that? So I still haven't heard back from him, so he's still probably personal issues right now with the family, so I should find out more information on Wednesday.
And Chad, I know that you were on the email when this was passed around. Any issues with this agreement?
Yeah, I was fine with that agreement.
I'd entertain a motion to go ahead and approve the professional services agreement with United for the on-call engineering.
Make a motion to accept that.
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
I'm
Those
not gonna
opposed.
repeat all your, you make it.
So the running joke here is that, before we get to those opposed portion, the running joke here is that I tend to,
Elaborate.
I make
Bring on.
long titles for things that are going to be motioned.
Like the game of telephone, then I have to repeat it.
And you also
So-
do it from out of town too, which makes it even more difficult.
So that's the running joke, because I just did it again without even thinking about it. All right, so let's be clear here. All those in favor of approving the agreement with United here, say aye.
Aye.
And those opposed, motion passes.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
And there should be 2 places.
But
There's task order.
There's, the task order, I think I can sign. I did not bring that document.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, I'll take care of that. I'll send them both over to the office tomorrow. Continuing on, the AIC conference went very well. I think the breakout sessions for auditors, treasurers, highway superintendents, all the government people that was there, I thought was very good. That was the first time I went to that, so it was kind of informative to me. The 2026-1 CCMG grant got submitted today. We did 2 applications. The total mileage we're going after on application 1 was 38.91. Total for application 2 was 81.29, for a total of 120.2 miles. I was telling John that I'm working with a guy trying to train him on this, but we did the first application, submitted it probably 10:30. We got started on the second application probably about 11:30. And from the first application to the second application, there was 127 people that already logged on that were trying to submit, or counties or cities or towns. So I think this is going to be very highly competitive. I had some questions for NDOT today in regards for the information, because you read the CCMG guidelines document, and it said that on ADA and Title VI and auditors and different things, they wanted a personal email. So anyhow, the one thing I did change was I had Christie and there's auditor at DecaturCounty.gov, but I use C Smiley at DecaturCounty.gov. When I called NDOT about that, they told me that, Todd, this Title VI and ADA hasn't moved quite as fast as they hoped it would. And if we was going to pick on that on this application, probably 95% of the counties would be not awarded. So I don't think they're going to be looking at that as hard as I thought they were. But we have got everything submitted for that.
Is that for 2026, is that $100 million portion that the CCMG 2026
Yeah.
is?
$100 million grant with a 20% match.
28
Yeah, 80-20.
or 80.
So I've also had to submit my quarterly reports to NDOT. I got that done last week. I got a call from SC Construction. They're gonna be moving in today, starting chip and seal on Wednesday, potentially. Well, asphalt was paved 200 south and has also been doing some approaches to the chip and seal roads. ADA and Title VI documents have all been updated and sent in. And thank you, Doug and Christie, for doing that. Other than that, I don't have anything else. Do you gentlemen have anything for me?
What did SC give you as far as a timeline for the additional chip and seal that we're doing this fall?
He didn't really give me a timeline, but I would say probably a couple of weeks.
They were really quick last time.
They were.
Yeah.
17 miles, right?
I think it's,
Yeah, it's a little over 50.
yeah,
Weather permitting, and I mean, they moved right along when we did 116 miles. over the
Yeah,
summer.
they did a great
So, I mean, I don't imagine that the only difference here is it's not big, long stretches.
And its location. moving
Yep.
around.
You're moving around a lot more. What road, when you were talking about Bridge 63, what road were?
Bridge 63 is on 120 east off 300 north. Yeah, right down the road from me. So I've got all kinds of calls from my neighbors. When's that gonna be open? My wife first doing for schools. Hey, when are you guys gonna have that? So,
I don't have anything else.
I don't.
All right,
Thanks, Todd.
thanks, Todd.
thank you, gentlemen.
All right, Doug Westerfeld, Area Plan Office.
Afternoon,
Done.
here for the second reading of the ordinance assigning authority to the Decatur County Area Plan Commission for the Decatur County Revitalization Project. Want me to-
Great.
You don't know?
Since I read it last time.
Whereas Indiana Code Chapter 36-1-3 permits any county in the state of Indiana to exercise any power or to perform any function necessary to the public interest in the context of its governmental or internal affairs, which is not prohibited by the Constitution of the United States or of the state of Indiana, or denied or preempted by any other law, or is not expressly granted by any other law to another government entity. Whereas the Board of Commissioners of Decatur County, Indiana is the county executive and legislative body and is by law authorized to adopt ordinances and resolutions of administration of its governmental affairs. Now therefore be it ordered, established, and ordained by the Board of Commissioners of Decatur County, Indiana as follows. The Board of Commissioners of Decatur County establishes the Decatur County Revitalization Project Board. Said Decatur County Revitalization Project Board shall be under the guidance of the Decatur County Area Planning Commission and shall consist of the following members: A, Director of the Decatur County Planning and Zoning Department; B, staff of the Decatur County Planning and Zoning Department; C, a Decatur County Commissioner; D, a Decatur County Councilman; E, a representative of the Decatur County Health Department; F, a Washington Township Trustee; G, a representative of the Decatur County Highway Department; H, Decatur County Planning and Zoning Department Attorney; I, Decatur County Recorder; J, Decatur County Auditor; K, Decatur County Assessor. The Decatur County Area Planning Commission and its director shall enforce all duties previously assigned to the Board of Commissioners as spelled out in ordinance number 1998-4, document number 982531, and ordinance number 2004-5, document number 2004-02281, both of which are attached here to and incorporated herein by reference. The Decatur County Area Planning Commission shall follow all ordinances established to outline the procedures for which they will enforce the projects being reviewed by the Decatur County Revitalization Project Board. The ordinance shall take effect immediately upon the date of passage by the Decatur County Commissioners of the County of Decatur, Indiana.
Any discussion on the ordinance this evening?
I would make a motion to accept the second reading of this ordinance.
I'll second that motion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries.
Then I also have 5 petitions that have been approved by the Area Planning Commission that I your signature, so I'll just come up there.
First one here, 2025 dash.
Is this the revitalization? I think I already gave that.
No, you're talking about
This is the revitalization.
privatization. I thought
Yep.
that would be-
Go back and look.
When we did the first read on it.
Oh, I switched notepads.
Twenty, 15.
Thank you,
15 or
Chad.
16.
Joe.
Chad.
Look at that. I suppose we could look at the emails. Yeah, Jeff.
And then I believe 16 is already spoken for. So these have-
And then I have, Decatur County Ordinance petition number 2023-12. Dan and Jennifer Riley to rezone approximately 2.99 acres from A1 to A2. 7 yeas.
So they're looking to rezone 2.99 acres from A1 to A2.
Yeah, from A1 to A2. To build a single-family detached dwelling.
So the one that had abstained was that top one. Okay, and so everyone else present voted in approval of the petition. All right, I'd entertain a motion on petition 2023-12.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye, and those opposed, motion carries.
And the second one is Decatur County Ordinance petition number 2024-19, Donnelly Kathy Bush to rezone 2.99 acres from A1 to A2. There was 7 yays, no nays, 1 absent. And it begins to single family attached dwelling.
It's on Northeast 8.
Yes, Northeast 80. You guys have any questions?
I do not.
Anyone in the room this evening have any questions or comments? All right, I'd entertain a motion on petition number 2024-19.
So moved.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries.
The next one I have is there's an ordinance petition number 2024-18, Brian and Dr. Schlerin to rezone 2.5 acres from A1 to A2. 8 yeas and 1 absent. This is also to build a single family detached home on 2 acres.
You guys have any questions?
I do not.
Anybody in the gallery have any questions? All right, I'd entertain a motion on petition number 2024-18.
So moved.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries.
Got County Ordinance petition number 2024-23. Stepped into rezone 1.5 acres from A1 to A2. 7 yeas, no nays. And that is also a single family detached dwelling on Highway 3. in one of those.
You guys have any questions or comment?
No.
Anybody in the gallery? Questions or comments? All right, I'd entertain a motion on petition number 2024-23.
So moved.
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? I would note that on this one, I don't think it was on the other one, it still has Mark Kors on this petition and Tony Blodgett, so you guys can write in your own names there. I don't think that they were on the other ones, but you guys can write in,
Okay.
yeah, you can write in your names there.
And then the final one is petition 2025-18. This is GD Partnership LLC to rezone 0.45 acres from R2 to B3. This is on Highway 46 in New Point, or this is for a gas station. And then there was 6 yeas and 2 absences and no nays.
I know that I was at the APC meeting on this one. There was some discussion about building some kind of fence on the south end of it.
Yep.
And what happened on that front of it?
We'll monitor that to make sure that gets done.
Was that a caveat or was that a condition?
It was a condition to the approval, to have that thing built.
And I know that there were a number of folks that had spoke at the APC meeting that evening. What was the position of adjoining or property owners so close?
The property owner that spoke to us, that came to the meeting, spoke to the south, they were concerned because they have a residence south of that property. They were concerned about grandkids, and that's why the topic of the fence came up. Other than that, I don't think there were any other property owners that spoke.
Is this at 850 and 46, or where is this?
Next property east of the fire department.
I spoke with one other property owner outside of the meeting, and he didn't have any issues with it. He actually owns the property to west of that. And I kind of, said it wouldn't be a bad idea for him to also continue that fence down his properties You didn't have to, but I thought it kind of neighborly do that. There's no specifics on the size of the fence that was legally. It would be nice to have, it's conditional that a fence is put in, but there was no what type of fence if it was conditioned.
Wasn't there a discussion about lighting, and
We had a property owner that I didn't speak to, but it did come into our office, that it's across the road, and they had concern about lighting. They didn't come to the meeting. There's a light there now. And I know that the property, there's a used car lot, and that property owner, the person that's running the car lot is not the owner of the property, and he's working to help to alleviate the lighting.
one of the other concerns I think that was brought up during the meeting was that if this is a gas station, that's a pull off from 46, there was concern about speed as well.
Right.
Again, we're talking about 46 being a state highway.
Yeah.
And this is inside the section that's gone down to 45 miles, 45 miles an hour now.
Four-way stop now, which, yeah, I mean, it's reduced to 45.
Is that the property used to be a car wash?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah, right next door, all walking train.
Walking Trinity used to have their
Yeah.
business there, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Larry Bird actually owned the car wash, not the Larry Bird. Larry Bird.
Okay, I know what you're talking about.
Larry Bird was alive. As far as the process, the permits have not been issued yet, they're still going to the state level.
Okay. So as far as like item and all of that, it's still, I'm sorry. It was, yeah, it was approved 6-0. It looks like we had 2 that were not present, and there was 1 seat that was vacant at the time. So,
Yeah, it's one of those properties where when the zoning went into place back in '96, I mean, it's always been a business, but then it's blanket zoned a lot of properties, so that's why it's an R2. But all of the properties now are changing over to be.
do you guys have any other questions or comments on it?
I don't have any questions.
Anybody in the gallery have any questions or comments? All right, I would entertain a motion on petition 2025-18.
So move.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries.
Anything else for me?
So we got word last week that our Okra grant petition was approved.
Yes.
So we will be able to start moving forward on the comprehensive plan review.
Yeah.
So that's a positive thing for the community. So the community should be looking out for additional publication about setting up everything that we need for that, correct?
Yeah, I spoke with the Southeastern Regional Planning today. They're waiting for, use an acronym, I'm not sure what, FEPS to clear. And once that's clear, then we'll sign the contract with HWC and then we'll start rolling.
Okay.
Very good. Thanks, Doug.
The only other thing that I had was actually down there towards New Point. So we have a water drainage ordinance that when you put in a certain stone pad that is semi-permeable, you have to abide by the drainage ordinance. So if you're putting in a large gravel lot of a certain size, you need to abide by it.
Right.
I've gotten a complaint, and I think it's every time I've driven by here, it continues to grow. The complaint that I got was on license down there,
Okay.
that they continue to add another 20 feet, another 30 feet, and it continuously grows, but the part that they're adding is always smaller than what would be required as far as triggering the ordinance
Farming, okay.
Yeah, so I think that we need to look at that because that pad size has continued to grow.
Yeah.
And it is affecting drainage in that area.
Mhm.
I think that we need to take a look at that about what exactly we need to be doing in that area.
I'll agree with that.
I'll pull that file, because I know there's a file.
There is.
I believe there is.
There's a lot of good reading in the water drainage ordinance.
Yeah, we'll look into that.
Doug, we have, is George?
Yes.
Morgan? George, George's here from Clarksburg, right? And George had called me about some property in Clarksburg and he wanted to speak this evening about maybe the blight project. So,
Okay.
George, go ahead.
I want to introduce Randy Miller. She also lives in town there and has been affected by what we're getting ready to talk about. I get out of this chair. I was born and raised in Clarksburg. I'm 75 years old now. I went to school there 11 years until I had to graduate from North Decatur, first class out. And the grounds on which the school was located there in Clarksburg is now a Decatur County Park and Recreation Park. And we've got a person living at the very north end of it that what used to be a 15-foot alley on the south side of their house. They didn't have any yard on the south side of their house. Has now been appropriated by the Park and Recreation Department to where it's part of the park. I've got a drawing here, GIS map drawing of it, showing this property of Decatur County Park and Recreations. And would you like to see it?
Sure.
Something like that.
Oh,
I believe you looked at this.
That's familiar. Yes.
Okay.
North end of that park now, there's nothing but trash. You couldn't walk through it if you had to. And there's been a problem with rats from that property, the house owner there. And
yes, I live on 640 North, right in the center of Clarksburg, and I'm not real sure what's going on in the area. I will not take my kids to that park anymore. There's graffiti, there's trash, kids running around and animals running around without leashes, like several dogs. And recently, September 3rd and September 6th, my husband put out poison and killed 2 rats in my house. And I have 2 children, age 2 and 7. And I'm concerned about them. And so that's why we're here, is to try to figure out the problem and get us some help.
I had photographs of the alley. Ron said, you need to see some proof of what was going on. So I took some pictures. I've got those pictures here. Next thing I knew, I had a card from one of the deputies saying I harassed the owner there by stopping and looking at the property and taking 3 pictures. And I told him I lived on that street for 14 years and I knew what the traffic was like. There wasn't anybody behind me or in front of me. I wasn't blocking traffic, which he's accusing me of. And so there's photographs taken in April, and it's a lot worse now. As I understand it, John Durbin went out and took a look at it and took pictures of it too. And then I got pictures that Randy just took today of the equipment with scribbling all over the playground stuff there, and they piled gravel. And that,
Paint and graffiti on the playground.
Individuals are doing this.
Correct.
well, it's the kids that live there in that house at North End Park. There's 2 more.
Honestly, there's several properties in the area that might be questionable. I tend to have it on both sides. I have one neighbor who has dogs and she continuously calls the police on me, and she has cameras on my house watching me and my children. And on the other side is a trailer, and there's 3 people living there without electricity and without water. And I can't take my kids outside to play because they're always yelling and fighting.
They've both been in prison.
One's a violent sexual predator. So just like some relief out there in Clarksburg.
He can live there because the laws can say that within 1,000 feet sexual offender couldn't live there. He was granted immunity to that because he was labeled a sexual offender before that went into effect. That's the reason why we're stuck with that. Right now, the worst problem is though, the people live in that house there at North End. They've got about 6 kids and one of them was in diapers at one time and the older kids was throwing the dirty diapers out on the lawn there at the park. And they've been urinating on the slide. Couldn't get much worse. And having lived in Clarksburg all my life, I'm tired of it.
I completely understand that. Yeah. So I know that Sean Durbin is aware of some of the rat issues that you
Mhm.
brought up. There is a plan that he has in place because statutorily certain things have to happen before something can be done. I know that Doug is aware of the information as well. So both Sean and Doug are coordinating as far as how to handle the situation from a public safety standpoint and then also from the property standpoint for all of the trash and everything else that is there. So they're working together to handle that because you can't really fix one without addressing both of them.
I
I think
understand
that they go hand in hand together. So they're both aware of that. I know Sean's side of it, as far as the public safety side with the rats, is going to be the side that is driving this forward. Because there were some discussions about if we just go in and clean everything up, does that just push the population away? What does that do? So we want to make sure that we're doing it as best that we can to contain and eradicate the problem. So they're aware of it. And now with this information about the graffiti at the park, I'm sure that Chris Hamblett, Parks and Rec Director, will send a crew out there to take care of that situation.
Now,
as well.
Randy pointed out to me, and I hadn't noticed it in the photographs, the plaything looks like a hippo. They even sprayed blue paint on top of its head. I just thought it was discoloration.
Okay,
And Brian had told me you're trying to establish a program called Blight,
that's correct.
force people
Yep.
into
So-
cleaning up.
The
Yeah.
Decatur County.
Yes.
Yeah, so the ordinance that I just read, I had the second reading, that gives us, my office, the ability to go in and clean these properties up. So then there will be the procedural final reading will be November at the Area Plan Commission meeting, November the 5th. So it'll be the final reading for the procedure. So then once that occurs, then they're on the list. Needless to
Okay.
say, they're on the list. So then that'll trigger that and it'll probably be about a 60-day process before you'll start really seeing something there. At least 6, because we got to give them notice, a timeline, anything back, and that kind of starts up but there's a process in place.
Okay,
And
I
this
appreciate it.
we've had other properties that have gone through the program as well.
Great.
So
And this will force them to clean it up at least on the outside. And what about the interior?
The interior, we really don't have, as far as the blight is concerned, we don't have that ability. We can clean up, and when they force them, we will give them the opportunity to clean it up. And if they don't take that opportunity to clean up, then we will clean it up.
Mhm.
Okay.
So we will actually pay to have it cleaned up. And then then we'll send them an invoice, and if it doesn't get paid, then it gets applied to the property taxes.
I talked to Ally the other day. I talked to her again this morning. As I understand it, Board of Health could actually do something about the living conditions in that house with all those kids in there. And that's a concern of mine too.
there are definitely some concerns that can be raised in that
All
area.
right.
That
I
could go-
thank all of you for your attention to this matter.
Absolutely.
I really appreciate it. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think on that note, we'll leave.
Like I said, I've never seen an actual rat that size before.
Yeah, they were big.
Thanks, George.
Thank you very much.
John Durbin.
Back in there.
Good evening. Thanks for allowing me to speak. Before I get to what's on the agenda, because I can't ever stick to what I'm supposed to. Just real quick, I want to acknowledge Alicia Nabi, who's with us here tonight. Last week was the Indiana Environmental Health Association meeting. gathers 300-400 people, environmental health specialists from all over the state. 94 different health departments. Dr. Weaver was there. All the big shots were all there. And she was awarded the Presidential Commendation Award for the entire state. So I'm just really proud of her and wanted to recognize her for that. You know, I talk a lot about how great my people are, and it's great to see it acknowledged by the state.
So what exactly is that award? Like, what's it? What specifically were they highlighting her work?
You know, that they didn't go into detail, but I can go into a little bit of detail.
Well, you're gonna brag.
Give us brag about her. So, I mean, she got a lovely certificate. And bragging rights, I guess. Alicia has been very active in environmental health. I've talked a lot about things she's done. Ordinance passed, she's got a lot of things done that just have never happened in Decatur County. But in addition to that, she's not even been there 2 years yet. And she is the co-chair of the Foods Committee for the entire state. So she's one of the people who helps drive not so much the policy of foods, but what we discuss at those meetings. What is an important topic? What is a learning topic? That kind of thing. She's been very active in our local chapter. She attends all of the meetings. She knows the people at the state. She's just gotten to really make a name for herself in environmental health in lots of ways. I mean, that's very general. If I'd been more prepared, I would have had a whole list of the things she's done because there are many.
Congratulations.
And then the other thing, just real quick, speaking of the state and Dr. Weaver will be here on November 17th at 9 p.m., 9 a.m., I'm sorry, p.m., a.m., what's the difference? To make a little visit to our health department, and we are having an open house that day, and we're also going to recognize some of our past employees and health officers. And we would like to invite all of you to be there. It's a big deal for environmental health. So
I got to meet her at the AIC conference.
oh, did you?
Yeah.
Yeah. She's pretty
Very well
awesome.
spoken.
Yes, she does a great job advocating for public health. And still a practicing emergency rooms physician too. So got her hands full. And kids. I couldn't do it all. So that being said, I'll move on to the meat and bones of what I'm here for today. So Indiana Code does ask us to come up with a county health plan based on the health indicators that they have kind of set, the leading health indicators for each county. This is by statute to be approved by the county executive, which I'm staring at him. So what we've done here is we've taken their list of the criteria that they've chosen for us to measure how we're doing in public health. And Decatur County does remarkably well. We're very strong in a lot of areas. However, we chose the top 4 areas that we feel like we need improvement. And that would be cigarette smoking during pregnancy, where we rank 82nd out of 96 counties. Infant mortality rate, we are 64 out of 92 counties. And I think I said 96 before, 92. Opioid overdose rate, we're number 59 out of 92 counties, and adult obesity, we're 45 out of 92 counties. And while these are not problems that get fixed overnight, and with the budget cuts, we have limited budget to address these problems, we've chosen those because we feel like we can make some significant differences in reducing these rates. Again, this is a process. This is something that takes multiple years to start to achieve. So we're looking at some incremental approaches there. In the back of this, I have a timeline, a 24-month timeline with a checklist for us so that we can, I'm sorry, it's a 12-month timeline for 2026, so that we can start to see some improvements in that area. And we're not going to move the needle a lot. We're looking at reductions of smoking during pregnancy of 11.5% down to 10%, infant mortality from 8.48 to 8%, overdose deaths, we'd like to see a decrease of 5 to 10% overall. We have youth vaping and smoking on there. We'd like to see that reduced by 20%, and then obesity. What we'd like to do there is not quite as measurable, but to increase healthy eating opportunities and some exercise opportunities for people in the county. And one of the keys here for us, as I said before, is that we want to keep this at no or minimal cost. So what we're relying on a great deal is both our own staff and community partnerships to make these happen. A lot of these programs are already in place. We're working towards these. So I don't think there's anything real drastic on here or super surprising on the ways we're going to get there. I will say on a couple of things on the statistics, the infant mortality rate, because of the size of our population, one infant mortality rate can drive up our statistics to make it look really bad. So they do call that statistic unstable. So statistically, it's going to be hard to measure improvement on that as well. So what we'll look for there is more of an improvement in some of the habits and the opportunities that we give people to reduce those smoking rates.
What are the infant mortality rate? What is it SIDS? Is it accidents? What is like for Decatur County?
Yeah, well, that's one of the things that is part of the plan here is we will start a infant mortality review team to help address some of those issues. But overall, about 60% of infant mortality is caused by SIDS.
And for that child fatality team, you'll have law enforcement.
Yeah, it's made up of, so we actually have now, we've already started, is actually will help us get to where we want to go on the overdose. We have an overdose and suicide review team now, and it's made up of law enforcement. It's made up of different social service sectors. It's made up of, on that one in particular, the schools. We have emergency services. We have medical personnel. It's a large, very diverse group of people who have the expertise to help address these issues. And so for each one, and this will be the same once we get the infant mortality review team in place, you'll go over each case one by one, and they really dive into those. So we'll have the medical records, we'll have the death certificates, we'll have all of the information so that we can help figure out what contributed to this and what steps can be taken to prevent it in the future.
I know in the ones that I've been in Shelby County, as far as the child fatality, most of the time it's sleeping conditions.
Yeah.
That's a lot of what I've.
Yeah, it's the largest contributor.
Safe sleep.
Yes.
And I will say along those lines, we have already started offering safe sleep classes, and we do have some incentives for new mothers, new parents. We have the pack and play. We do have car seats available. For
I
those
think
who
about
don't
car
have
seats. Is
Yeah,
the car seat safety.
yeah, and then we have now one trained car seat technician, and we're sending 2 more at the end of this month, actually, for that. So we'll have 3 people certified as the car seat technicians.
Very good.
So you need us to approve your health plan?
Yes.
I would entertain a motion to approve the health plan.
I'll make a motion to approve the health plan.
I'll second the motion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Do you need my signature or anything? I don't.
It does not say it ever has to be signed, so.
Very good.
All right, thank you all.
Thank you, Sean. Appreciate it.
Mike Snyder with EMA. I'm so sorry. I was trying to.
I was really hoping that you saw him mid-squat.
Quick.
He was halfway up.
I apologize, but I got a 7 o'clock meeting.
I was looking at the clock. And I was trying to speak.
I got a merit board meeting at 7 o'clock.
Whoa, whoa.
So anyway, a little review as far as our crisis intervention team, our CIT. The grant was originally written and submitted to Lillian Dowlett.
there was a coordinator and 3 field deputies in that grant. We started conservative because we didn't know what our numbers were gonna be, so we had our coordinator and we had 2 field deputies. So up to this point, we really got going in February of this year. So far, we've had 277 calls for service for our CIT. A lot of those calls require 1, 2, 3, 4 follow-up calls as well. They've also had 56 additional calls for either to provide training or give a presentation to city clubs and such as that. So our numbers are really exploding. Example is yesterday, we transported an individual to the Lawrenceburg Mental Health Facility. Today, we transported one to Columbus. So the numbers are exploding. So with that being said, we approached the foundation and they've given us approval to move ahead and hire that 3rd field deputy. What we anticipate doing that is the first year. With all that being said, we need a vehicle for that individual. And we found a 2025 Chevrolet Silverado up in Fort Wayne, Kelly Chevrolet. They're giving us end of model year pricing, so we're getting it for $48,410. So again, the foundation has already agreed to go ahead and start pushing this forward for our 3rd hire. So since this vehicle's gonna be titled in the commissioner's name, I'm just asking for you to be in agreement, with the foundation, and push ahead with this.
The money's there,
The money is there, the foundation's paying for it, the grant.
with the amount of success that you guys are seeing here early on with the intent of the program. I mean, I think it's
Yeah.
crucial to move forward with it now.
I would agree.
Yeah, again, a lot of other counties looking at us, how we're doing it, seeing we're doing it right. So,
I think it's a good thing. I'd make a motion to approve the sheriff getting the vehicle for the 3rd deputy.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries.
thank you very much.
Thanks, Sheriff.
Mike, you're up.
Good evening.
Hi, Mike.
Got a couple of grants for approval. And I will apologize ahead of time on the first one. I was not clear on the process. It was the State Homeland Security Program for this year. That is a grant that we are seeking to do a lot of significant upgrades to our command bus. A lot of that equipment in there is pretty antiquated. And within the next couple of years, the state will be moving into phase 2 of their P25 radio system, and those radios are not compliant. Also, the computer equipment is severely outdated. So what I was unaware of was I needed to bring this before you prior to applying. I had already applied for that though, and it was due by 24th of September. It would be 100% reimbursement. So if approved, we just submit back to them what they have already approved for the grant and what we've got submitted for. I think that's really all that I have for the SHSP grant. The actual total amount that we are applying for, approximately 112,000. I don't see my figure here.
$112,166.46.
Yes. So that is the one that we are applying for on that. The other grant is due to be submitted October 31st is the Emergency Management Performance Grant. That's the one that we get usually every year that gives a certain percentage of our salaries, mine and Gary's salary, a certain percentage based on population reimbursed back to the county. And they have already said that that would be in the amount of 30,000. So that with your approval, we'll have those in place.
I was at the meeting, Mike, of course, when we talked about the SHSP grant, and it just completely slipped my mind. I didn't even think about, coming before the commissioners prior to submitting that grant. So that's part of my fault as well, because I was there with you. We were talking about that grant and I didn't even think about it.
I appreciate you taking the initiative on both of them. I don't have an issue. I appreciate you looking at both of them.
Yeah, I really appreciate it.
All right, I'd entertain a motion to approve applying for both grants.
I would make that motion.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank Mike.
Thanks.
Up next, we have Chad Smith, our attorney.
So Centerstone, as designated by the state of Indiana, is Decatur County's certified mental health partner. There's a statutory scheme that sets this up that includes payment of funds through a special tax levy that the county assesses. We have been in a dispute with Centerstone since early 2022 about everybody's statutory duties. And as a result, the county took the position of withholding all of their funds until they did what we would mandate them to do under the statutes. And we have gone round and round with them many times. Before any of you and myself were here in 2022, I think at least Jeremy and I participated in a meeting with them in 2024. And every now and then they call a state agency to complain about us, and we talk to them and we get nowhere. Which is how we ended up here today, contacted by General Counsel for Indiana FSSA about status of this situation. And I bluntly told them the same thing I told them 4 times already, which is as soon as they comply with their reporting requirements in the statute, for those playing along at home, it is 1229-216. As amended by in 2024, there is now 10 separate components they must report to us. When we had them at our meeting in 2024, they employed a lawyer who sent us a letter. We responded and never heard from them again. We made our same demands and they ignored them again. Over time, they finally provided us with the reporting for 2022 and 2023, but was deficient in one of their categories, so we rejected it once again and told them what our expectations were. When all this was passed along to FSSA, his blunt response was, "That's all you need?" Yes. So he has provided us the missing component for the 2022 and 2023 reporting, which means even though not through their own efforts, they have now complied with all the reporting requirements for those 2 years. In 2022 and 2023 were the first 2 years we withheld their payments. We still have seen nothing for 2024. I expect they won't have 2025 ready for still several months. So that one is in limbo. But in an attempt to try and move this thing forward, I think the recommendation would be for the county to make the first open gesture and say, we've now got what we've been begging for years, and release the 2022 and 2023 payments to them, because it is also our statutory duty to do so now that we have what we're required. We have the invoicing from them, and again, we have levied the money is just sitting in the fund waiting for this. The 2022 invoicing is a total of $226,755. The 2023 invoicing is $237,779.04. So the total, what we would be paying in reimbursement would be $464,534.04. And see if this gesture to them gets them to understand that all we want is our reporting, and then they get the money, and see if that unlocks the 2024 report. Because the frustrating part of this is they're doing these recordings and submitting them everywhere but to us, which they are required to give you a copy as well as council a copy. And that's been our demand since this started. So let's see if we can break this logjam.
They are performing their responsible duties.
Having reached out to several offices back when this started, and now the answer is now yes. Long before when this first started, I would say the answer was mostly no. We had many county agencies frustrated with them, not getting response from them. But my understanding, having talked to several county offices, is now we are getting good service. People are happy again. So I think now we reach out and see if this fixes our current problem.
The big issue was when there was a question on is service being provided. The question was what services were being provided here in Decatur County, not across the state, not elsewhere, but what are you doing here? And that was what we weren't getting. And when we're getting information that services were not being rendered, that's why we had to know that information before we were releasing funds. So with the information that's been, I guess, provided on a state level, I would be in agreement with Chad as far as the 2022 and 2023 funds, but not going into 24 yet because we don't have any of the reports or any of the other information establishing exactly what it is they're doing here in Decatur County in 2024. Chad, anything else on your end?
That was all I had, unless you all have any other questions.
I would agree to pay them, but it's frustrating knowing that in 22, 23, that we weren't getting the services that they were supposed to provide for us and not doing the reporting.
And unfortunately, the payment is not really a discretionary issue. The statute says if the tax levy is in place, money must be paid through to the community mental health provider, and they are the only one as designated by the state for this county. So the levy was assessed, the money must be paid. We just took the position that we weren't going to do it until they did what they were required to do.
Right.
And there was no other way to get anybody else certified.
And I've done
That's
some
the
checking
question.
too, and everybody seems happy now, which doesn't matter what to pay them anyway, and they complied.
For 22 and 23. Since we don't have any reports yet.
Well, I would make a motion to pay the 22 and 23 portion that we owe them.
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries.
Thanks, Chad.
Thank you.
All right, up next, we have a arborist quote. The tree and the tree house.
About 3 months ago,
The courthouse.
about 3 months ago, we had a Jerome from Tree Centric Solutions came and looked at our tree. We had a little bit of a drought going on, and I don't know what year it was, 22 or 23, when they did the work on the steeple. They completely sealed it up, and water cannot get into that now, to the tree and to the root system. So we did put at that time, put a water line all the way up to the top of the tower, and then had a system to get water to the tree roots. Unfortunately, that was never connected. It wasn't working properly. So Jerome has now got it working properly. He watered the tree, fertilized the tree, and the system is currently working. His estimate that he wants to give us now is to come back and winterize that water system so it doesn't freeze, and then come back in the spring to reinstall it, get it back opened up, the water system, and working again in the spring. So it looks like his estimate is $2,860 for that.
So as far as like the winterizing and the monitoring and the hookup, is that something that Charlie can do?
Well,
The fertilizing and the inspection, the tree.
I
and
thought
all of
about
that?
I thought about, is that something we could go up and just shut the water line off, drain it? I think that's really what he's gonna do. But that's $1,250 for him to winterize it.
Yeah, or if we have questions, he can do it with Charlie, and then Charlie does it there on after.
I feel like that might be the case
Because I know that line comes down and drains into the maintenance sink. And
It does.
into that.
in the women's restroom.
Yeah.
But there's a copper line that goes from
Right.
that PEX line through the brick and into the roots of the tree. And there is
There's one thing we don't want to do is go replace that.
no. But there is a system that he has in place that waters a tree when the humidity level gets to a certain percent. It automatically waters the tree by 5 to 10 minutes. And then that, it checks the humidity level. So I don't know if you pay attention, the tree does look better.
Yeah.
It is definitely looking better. It is a mulberry tree, and mulberry trees are very hardy. I asked him about, that. He said, definitely, we can save the tree. It's okay, but it definitely needs to be watered and taken care of. One of the things that he would like to do in the spring is to trim the dead out of the tree. He said he thought there was 30 to 40% dead limbs of the tree, and he said the foliage, and he said that needs to be trimmed. Sure. So
We don't want one falling either.
So the tree almost died.
it's not quite.
How can we let things get that dire?
We're taking care of it, Bill. So that's the quote. 2860. I agree. Charlie can go up there, see how he does it.
Because he spent the time with him already.
He did. Then we can move
I
on.
like that plan.
We'll revisit the trimming of the tree in spring.
I'll
Just gonna get in there for you.
go for it.
Put a long one out there. I'll make a motion to move forward the arbors with the winterizing of the tree.
I'll second the motion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries.
Couldn't tap in the springs that they're caught.
Yeah, they changed the clock, so there's no more springs, Larry. You can't water it
I
internally.
can't use that joke anymore.
No.
There's a Greensburg area. That's the marketing department right there.
All right, up next, we have the fairgrounds building rental rates. So the rental agreement for the fairgrounds for all of the different buildings and different uses out there hasn't been updated in some time. So we had a fair committee meeting last month to kind of discuss some of the pricing for the different buildings, and then also the pricing for the new community building that's being built currently. Also with that, I had Erica pull some figures from other counties that have similar buildings as to what our new community building will be, so that we could get an idea of what pricing should be. So I emailed you guys that information, and then also the current rental fee agreement. And we'll just start with just changes here, and then we'll have to have Chad. I've got some more things for you to work on this, because the contract portion of this hasn't been touched in a substantial amount of time. And so I think there's some other things that need to be added to this. But as far as the first change here, by recommendation of the fair committee, was on the entire fairgrounds. It was previously rented for $9,000. The recommendation is to go to $10,000. And then the next large change is the farm and home building. That is only moving up $100, but that puts it at $500 total. The rabbit and poultry barn is actually seeing a decrease due to the fact that it's very rarely ever rented out. The decrease takes it down $200 to $800 total. The moving down further, the horse stable, horse arena with lights is being combined, because what they've seen over the years is that when somebody comes out, say they rent just the arena, they're also using the barn. If they're there late enough, they're flipping the lights on. So they're potentially using all three in that category. And so the idea was to lump it all together, make one price for you're renting the horse facilities. It's $500 for the horse facilities. And you can use the arena, you can use the barn, you can use the lights, but it's all one price. We are, it used to be also that you could rent the tractors for the fairgrounds, the water tank for the arena, the grader for the horse arena, and you could actually rent those. So they would be renting county-owned property to put on their private show. The consensus from the fair committee is we need to stop doing that. If somebody wants to come in and put on a show, whether it is at the horse arena or it's at the track or something else on the fairgrounds facilities, you need to bring your own equipment because we aren't going to be supplying county-owned equipment from a liability standpoint. And
An arena sled was donated by the City Saddle Club, and there
Yes.
was an agreement that they get to use.
and they
Owned by
yes,
fairgrounds,
but the equipment that's actually owned by
yeah,
the county, that's the issue.
yeah. I mean,
That's the issue. But as far as the stuff that's owned by
that one
Tree City,
It was donated to them, but just that
Yep.
they.
so things that are owned by the county, we're eliminating that. We also don't want to be renting out equipment that is not ours to rent out.
Yeah.
When you're talking about the Tree City
Well, the
equipment.
fairground, and we donated
so-
it too, so it's ownership, the way I
Yep.
remember that happened, it was ownership to the fairground, like we don't
Right.
own it anymore,
But when
just
we're,
want access to it.
at the same time, like it's still, yes, it's the county's, but it's still theirs. We don't want other organizations coming in and
Yeah.
using it, potentially
Yeah.
breaking the equipment that they wanted to donate, that they would still plan on using.
Yeah, I understand.
That's the consideration there. There's a liability standpoint and there's also a preservation of the equipment that we have. Those are the considerations that go into that. Camping per night, is the next potential change. With electric, especially with the considerations here, putting in the additional camping spots on the west side of the fairgrounds, moving that up to $35 a day. I'm not a camper, so I don't know if that's high or low. That's middle of the road, but that was the recommendation that was made. Chair rental and table rental. Those rentals, we just need to have it specified here in this rental agreement that if you're renting a table or chairs here for $5 for tables, for each table, or $1 per chair, that is for the tables and chairs that are not part of the new community building. For those tables and chairs that will be purchased brand new. So the existing tables and chairs, they can be used anywhere else on the fairgrounds, but we aren't talking about the tables and chairs that are going to be community building.
Right.
We are eliminating the stocking the restrooms, toilet paper, that fee of $75 per event. The general idea was that we were nickel and diming people when we were getting there. So then moving on to the new community building, looking through the information that Eric had sent us. We got information from Boone County, multiple Hamilton County sites, Hendricks County, Johnson County, looking at what is the fair price, both for the county and for folks that want to rent the new community building. And the range that we came up with was $2,500 to $3,500. And so that's what I wanted to talk with you guys about tonight, was to see where you guys were at, not only with these other changes to the rental fee agreement here, but also for the new community building.
I feel like you're in that range is a good range. My thought is to split the difference at 3,000. But when we talk about renting the community building, there seems like so many different caveats to it. For instance, for somebody that wants to rent it for the 4-H or a school. I know one of the people on the fundraising committee mentioned something about an archery tournament or something like that. Do we charge the full price, or do we give discounts for different things. So I think starting out at 3,000, but there's so much more to it than just that initial price. And there's a lot to work through. You know, how this fee schedule for other entities that want to rent it.
Yeah, I mean, Decatur County, 4-H, FFA, junior leaguers, all of that. I mean, Decatur County, if you want to use the facilities, I think that should be great.
Right.
If we're talking about a regional competition or show where you're bringing in folks from outside Decatur County, it's a larger event, then I can see where we're having a small fee for that for some type of 4-H related event. One of the things that I do have noted here as far as from our meeting with the fair committee is that any potential discounts need to be coming here to the commissioners. In the bylaws that were passed last year, it states in there that the fair committee is responsible for the fair. The commissioners are responsible for the fairgrounds.
Right.
So any other rentals that would be going on and deviations from this agreement, this rental agreement would be coming to us. And so I can work on some criteria for us to consider, and then we can go forward if we're looking at discounted rates, whether that's 501c3s or schools or something like that. I can work on maybe some base outlines of what we could be looking at. If that's something you guys want to consider.
I would.
Okay. Gabe, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree with the 3,000, but also I know that as much, as things are going right now, there's a lot of decisions that need to be made, and I'm sure for this first year that it's gonna be
In flux.
Yeah, and I think there may be some ups and downs, and as part of that, to make it attractive, I'm not opposed to be at the 2,500 mark. So that way we can hopefully try to gain some traction with people wanting to rent it.
Yeah, I definitely, I want to make sure that we have the traffic that we think we're going to have here in the first year. And if that means maybe we're underselling ourselves just a little bit, I'd be okay with that the first year so that we can make sure that we have folks coming here and maybe we can start those long-term relationships with either businesses or organizations that want to come here and put their event on. Erica, when you were going through and looking at these different areas, what are your thoughts on that?
It varies a lot. I mean, a lot of the facilities are obviously older than what we have. And I think the calendar availability the first year might be something that somebody might, I don't know. I think you might need a little bit lower price to the fact that the calendar would be wide open at first. You know what I mean? And then the year after, maybe it will catch on. The only thing I would say is like, the thing about kitchens, what kind of kitchen you have or how much space you have in there, would be the only other thing. But no, overall, it's a nice new facility and nobody else has anything near that new.
Yep. Or
So.
for a lot of them that large.
Correct.
Most,
Yeah.
most of them were smaller.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
When you're looking at researching this for a price on that, I've done things of this nature a long time. Please look at not just what the other counties are offering, because some of these counties are rich counties.
Very much
We're
so.
not a very rich county. We're in the middle. So keep that in mind. Also, look at the other venues that are around us. There's wineries that have buildings. There's other venues around us. So look at the pricing there, because if you overprice it, we're not going to make money for the county on that.
Yeah.
So my whole ordeal where I think of, even if you price it low, people are going to come to you before they come to that other facility that's charging $3,000. You can always raise it with another vote, but you can't always go down once you set that price until the next year. So just keep that in mind to look at other venues, not just other counties. Okay. So when you do your research.
The specific size of the facility, it's kind of hard to find anything is the one thing. And I know they have something in Hancock County, but it was such a not great building. It wasn't really even worth looking into. I know.
And there's always if you want the kitchen, that's a little extra cost because now you're adding the kitchen
Right.
into it. So,
And we had discussed that if you rent it, you get the tables and chairs
Right.
for the included price. We weren't going to be charging.
Right.
That's part of it. That's part of the event. Brian, any thoughts?
Is this gonna be open like for weddings and family reunions even?
It
Is
is.
gonna be like if somebody's a Decatur County resident, you get a discount?
We'll
mentioning
get, we'll get to
discount,
other discounts. That other discounts is still on my list here. But as far as what is it open to?
I know a lot of people use fairgrounds for family reunions and don't have that kind of.
I think we're just really gonna have to see what our base.
There is not an event where we would say no. It's literally anything. What this is geared towards is this is geared more towards the commercial business side. We aren't marketing this as a wedding venue. We are marketing this as some type of convention expo hall where we can bring things into Decatur County that is what the true nature and purpose of this building is. And we want to be able to host conferences, trainings, that kind of thing. Dennis Vogel was approached by somebody back during the fair that wants to bring a regional gun show to Decatur County. And so that's what we're marketing this towards. And that's what Erica and her board and I talked about is marketing this towards the exposition hall, not towards a wedding venue.
Does it have like a count of how many it would hold?
600 to 650 people sitting at tables.
Do get retractors and open up, say no to.
I was gonna say that.
That's gonna come back.
The problem is that legally, there are very few things if you're offering it for rental. I think that as far as allowing animals inside this for a livestock show, we'll say no to that. We can put that on our rules, Chad. Maybe a dog show, we can consider that. We do have a very nice dog show out there as it is now.
Yeah.
But yeah.
No, I was just gonna say, and kind of Jeremy picked up on it, that especially in this first year, you guys are gonna need to market, make sure it gets out there and target some of those things that you guys are wanting to have there, like conventions, conferences, that kind of stuff. Make sure that it's known within the various circles that we are kind of open business. Obviously we've got some feedback from both private companies here that make their lifeblood on weddings and such. And we don't necessarily want to compete. I think this is a different type of venue, and we want to kind of target those kind of conferences because again, that's another to Jeremy's point. That's another reason to come to Decatur County and take advantage of our really strategic location. So marketing here in the first year would be very good. Make sure people know that.
So I'm in agreement with Gabe. I would prefer to set it at the 2,500 number for year one. I think that for a facility this size, with the caterer's kitchen, with the warming bays and the large sink, and I don't even remember how many outlets Scott had said are going to be in there, but there's going to be plenty of outlets and counter space. I think for what this venue is going to be, as well as the electronic capability that's going to be in this building, I think 2,500 I think that's a fair price. Do you guys have any other thoughts on the other pricing recommendations?
I would go with what the fair committee agreed upon on those other pricing recommendations.
I agree.
All right, then I would entertain, or I guess I will make the motion for the pricing to be changed as stated previously as we went through it.
Community building.
2,500.
Okay.
I agree. I would like to see us revisit that later and see where we're at. But I'm I'm okay with 2,500, but I think we have the opportunity to.
I hope that we're kicking ourselves in 6 months saying, why did we set it at 2,500?
I hope so too.
All right, all those in favor, say aye. Those opposed, motion carries on the prices. And then the final topic that we had discussed, and I can tell you from going out and talking, having a number of meetings with potential donors on this project, one of the questions that I keep getting asked is, if I am, or our organization is a donor, do we get a discount? And the discussion was frequent enough that I brought it up to the fair committee. It's something that I wanted to bring to you guys. So the way that the pledge cards are written right now that are handed out to prospective donors, anybody that is above $50,000 is at a grand champion level. $25,000 to $49,999 is reserve grand. The best in class level is $10,000 to $24,999. Grandstand is $5,000 to $9,999. Pit pass is up to $4,999. So there are varying levels here, and we're seeing folks in these different levels for contributions that have been made at this point. And they have had the question of, if I'm giving, do I get to use the facility at a discounted price? The only way that I see that as being a possibility is that it is a discount, but it's tied to a number of years. That is based on the level that you had attained as part of the pledge or in the campaign.
Yeah.
So if you're looking at like grand champion and you're at 50,000, I can see us giving that discount for, say, 5 years. And you can go down from there. So reserve grand, you're at 4 years. Best in class, you're at 3. Grandstand, you're at 2. Pit pass, you're at 1.
And you're thinking a 25% discount?
I don't know.
What is your discount?
I don't have a number specifically for you. Numbers were being thrown around. I can tell you it was not getting above 25%. The tricky thing is of course, keeping track.
Yeah.
I mean, you can say that you can put an expiration. So you were a grand champion level. You would have that discount 2026, 5 consecutive years, starting in 26. If you get past that, you haven't used it in those 5 consecutive years, it's gone. You aren't using one this year, skipping 3 years, using another one, skipping 3 years. We can set it out to where you have to use it for that time frame. So it's not technically 4 or 5 separate times that you get to use it infinitely over an infinite period of time. It's that you have a set time in which to use that.
Right. I don't know. I think that's something we should think about.
Are you going with it? How many times they can use it?
Well,
to
it's
get the
one.
discount?
Yeah, I mean, if you're at that grand champion level, you would get the discount for potentially 5 years, say. And then you only get to use it, or you only get that discount one time per year for those 5 years going after. And I mean, if you're at that level and you're talking about a 25% discount per year, I mean, that's for a facility that's being rented for $2,500, a little over, what is that, $625? Yeah. $625. And you're getting somebody that's making a very sizable contribution to the campaign.
I'm not against it. I think there's a lot of things to work through.
Yep.
Working out how to do it. We don't have to do that this evening.
We don't have to do that this evening. Getting the pricing, getting the pricing schedule was definitely something that we needed to do. And then I need Chad to get his fingers on this contract portion of it.
I'd say you really want to get it all used, force them to use that within 2 years. After
Yeah.
that, it's you're back to normal. Because hopefully by that time, if the calendar's kind of getting filled up and you don't want discounted sales, still
Yeah.
plugging up the calendar.
At the same time, I mean, most of these folks that are doing these, they're local folks, and if they're running a business that's putting on a conference here, and we can keep them coming and keep them happy, and the facilities are getting used, and our reputation as a county is continuing to be promoted, I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing.
I think, because of the 5 years, are you thinking because we're doing a pledge for 5 years? Is that
Yes.
where that's coming from?
Yes, it is.
I assume that.
The max time on the pledge is
Right,
5.
5
yeah.
years, right.
All right. So we passed that. We'll get a revised copy from Chad for the rest of the agreement, and then I'll work on some of the different areas
Pricing.
for the discounts. What are your thoughts? Leanne had brought up Decatur County resident discount. What are your thoughts?
I mean, I'm not discounting it, but when we talk about all these discounts, who's gonna keep track of all this?
That's the
I mean,
problem. Yep.
I'm not sure if that's the right way to go.
And then you get somebody out of county renting through somebody in county name. to get
I'm not a fan of that. I'm not a fan of the,
I think like what Brian said, it's the marketing that you need to go out initially, because a lot of people used to have those family reunions and rent the building, and I don't know, was there even much of a fee at that? Anyway,
very, very minimal on those.
very minimal, because they were older buildings,
Right.
but
That's,
we just put it out there that it's more business, commercial type venues, I think will help hold that.
We have tons of buildings
Yeah.
too, so
Yeah.
things can still be facilitated elsewhere as well. This won't be the only. But yeah, I'd like to.
All right. Moving on down the list here, annex water filtration system. I'm gonna pull that email up. Or do you have it?
I do,
Okay.
so really what it comes back is dispatch and health department, IT, IT spends about $600 a year, water cooler, filling, buying jugs. Health department spends about $360 a year in bottled water. Dispatch buys 8 to 12 cases of bottled water per month for their office. All this comes back to the plumbing inside of the annex building is not sufficient. Yeah.
It's awful.
There's that. But so the folks are having to purchase water in order to have good drinking water. So the idea here would be to put reverse osmosis system local in each office so that it's at the end of the line for each one of those offices. Total cost for the RO system is $779 for all 3 offices. The cost of the filter replacements per year is $506 total for all 3 systems. So in essence, we come back, we're buying the systems the one time for the $779. The cost of the replacement is, our filters is the $506, but even just IT is already at $600 a year. So it's more than the filters plus add the $360. And the total for dispatch would be about $670.08. So roughly total we're in that $1,700 range yearly. And this is going to keep us at $506.97 for just the filters. So, seems to make sense. This has been done elsewhere already. It's just these would be the next places to do it.
Yeah, I wasn't even really familiar that it was that cheap to install that. So Charlie came in and had really great ideas. I mean, you pour out of our tap a glass of water and it's clear, it is cloudy as can be.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to drink that water at all.
Good back in the 60s.
So,
Yeah.
so yeah, and Charlie did a really.
I had no problem drinking tap, but not that tap.
Charlie did a really good job of breaking this down.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal. I mean,
that
has-
makes sense.
has
And not to
everything.
mention how many appliances that we went through. I have to buy a coffee maker every single year. And
I think
put
that's
five-
another thing that we don't think about is the
Right.
calcium,
We've got a
calcifying
nice
on-
machine that
right,
we bought. It is broke already,
Right.
because of the breakdown. I used to buy a Bun coffee maker and I quit doing it. Now I just buy the cheap because I'm having to pitch it every year.
I agree. This will fix some of that issue as well.
Our current, I mean, I can just go on because we've got several things because we're 24/7. There's so many things that the water is damaged in our sorry.
And we had discussed if it's something that we need to work on as far as like the entire system out there. And I don't, Gabe, was it you or was it Charlie that was talking about making sure that we weren't flushing the better water down the,
Right, we
down the
talked about
drain?
doing at the end of the line,
Yeah.
like Gabe mentioned earlier,
Yeah.
not incoming
Yeah,
water.
we didn't want to be treating it right when it was first coming into the building. And so I think this is the way to do it. I
So
think
it's roughly a $400 or $500 savings year one, and afterwards it's roughly 1,200 year savings.
I make a motion to have the system put in.
You had one to the veterans office then?
You can come down and get our water.
I give them a dirty cup and I tell them it's like drinking out of a water buffalo when they're on service and
Yeah.
just drink it.
Yeah, well, I don't see any reason, why we can't. I got the numbers. It's $168.99 for filters and $259.99. So if there needs to be one in the veterans office, I would make
I
a
would say
motion.
it would be nice. I try to get water in there for them, but
You know, and Mike Lee,
He loves it.
we don't drink a lot of water, and we got a 1 gallon filter in there, like a Brita type thing, which pretty much takes care of us. I would be more concerned with the coffee maker that's in the kitchen. Because that's a nice big bun coffee maker, and when you have big meetings, it's used quite a bit. So, if you're gonna do this, I would consider doing the one in the kitchen before you do one in our office, where there's only 2 of us. And, but as you think about court services.
So let me, I guess, say this now and thinking about that a little bit. He's not gonna get all 3 systems ordered and put in 2 weeks anyway, right? So we'll be
Oh, yeah.
back here in 2 weeks. Maybe let's have him go look at the other offices, make sure there isn't some plumbing we can tie together off other systems too. If they're close by, neighboring, I don't know, just thinking about this. So maybe it would make sense to look at that and then see if there's anything we can do for the other offices. If not, I'm sure we can have those as well.
we'll look at it.
I think the ones that's got more people in it's more.
Well, now I'm thinking of community corrections now.
Mine-
They have the most employees of anybody over there.
Hey, the veteran office, if they can't approve the veteran office, I'll pay to get the veteran.
Ours is.
I give them water. We'll share with the corner.
We'll have Charlie.
No
look
pun
into-
intended.
We'll have Charlie look into that to see if there's anything that can be done that makes good sense. If not, we'll proceed.
So let's
I would make a motion to approve the 3 that
let's
are on
let's approve the first 3 and then we can address the remaining offices.
Making a motion to approve
You
those.
made the
the, make a
motion.
motion to approve the 3.
I'll-
IT, dispatch, no, details, and,
Health department. That could be tied together.
so yeah, I'll make a motion to approve those 3.
All right, I'll second that motion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries with the tailing in there. And we'll look at the others. We'll look at the other offices as well. Up next, we have on topics, we had to add it towards the end here, pool BOT. Gabe, take it away.
Actually, Chris.
Oh, Chris, take it away.
Yep.
Right, I got a text. They couldn't really hear your microphone. You just, maybe
Like to get it
you're
done.
stretched out.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, I'll speak into it.
All right. So, as you guys know, the pool, survey wrapped up with the VOT RFP stuff out, and got, some responses back and you had some information got your way. I hope you had a chance to review it. Pool committee did, meet, and we do want to recommend that we move forward with, Blue Escapes pools. I agree with Indiana, just, experience. They presented a very good case, to us, and you guys have seen that information. So, get your approval. We can go forward.
Can you say their name again, please?
Blue Escapes pools.
Looks like we had received 2 different proposals there. One was from Blue Escape and the other one was Rockwell. Small one there. I accidentally closed it. Rocks Work
Rocks work.
LLC. Blue Escape definitely included a lot of information about their business, about the project itself, as far as what they would be working towards. Their qualifications. Yeah.
To accept this. I make a motion to use Blue Escapes DOT.
I'll second that motion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Gabe. As far as one other topic here, I had Mike with EMA and then the sheriff, and I also had the fire chief look through the Decatur County Fair Emergency Plan Handbook. It had been a little bit since it had been updated, and so Mike went through and made some changes to it. The sheriff said everything looked good from his perspective, and the fire chief also said that everything was good from his perspective. Did you guys have any comments on that? Okay. I would entertain a motion then to approve that new emergency plan.
I'll make a motion to approve the new emergency plan.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. I'll get that sent back out to the fairgrounds. Brian, anything on your end?
I know I missed the last meeting. I apologize. That issue, trip to Japan was good. Happy to represent the state at the U.S. Midwest and conference. We are hosting here in Indianapolis next year, so we had a good contingent for lacking some from the state side, but actually our region was well represented. So have that great meetings with Resnac, Honda, Nipro on existing projects, well, different future projects, and attended some number of events, Friends of Indiana events, they called in, maybe different these industries, all of which have invested in Indiana. So really successful trip there. Ready update, there's an announcement on the Lilly funds. Our portfolio that we submitted was approved. That means that funding for the Greensburg Learning Center Child Care Project, as well as the St. Mary's School was funded, so that they can move forward with those projects now. Great. Just today, the Fairgrounds project moved one step closer to full funding on that. Receive any sort of boosts from here on out, so that's good news. And then I'll just say that all of you should have gotten a draft of the housing assessment, and that's I took some feedback that I got. We're working on the final draft here, so probably I would say in the next maybe in the next 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks, you should have the final draft for everybody. So appreciate everybody who helped support that.
Ken, before I get to you, I almost forgot one thing, so I want to hop back up here real quick for one other thing. We got notice per the Decatur County Biosolid Ordinance that the city of Greensburg will be applying 700 dry tons of biosolid to 56 acres. It has been tested. The rate will not exceed 14 dry ton per acre. This is just the simple notification process as laid out in that ordinance, which is 2024-14 for the biosolids PFAS ordinance, which limits the amount of PFAS in the material to 50, and I cannot remember what the UG per kilogram is. It was some very, very small amount, but I don't remember what the actual metric is, but this is below it, yeah, just to give notice, and we have received that, so. Yeah. All right, Ken, you're back up.
All right, yeah, I've got just really two things. One, just wanted to mention last Saturday, I had the opportunity to go to Robert M. Ryan's 100th birthday party for a World War II vet. Great to sit and talk with him. And I was able to present him 2 letters, one from our Adjutant General of Indiana, and I got a letter from the governor to give to him. We did have a time set up for him to go meet the governor, but it was just a bridge too far for the family to get that veteran up there to see the governor. So it was great to talk to him just for that little bit and to celebrate a 100th birthday for a World War II vet who fought in the Pacific and did 2, not 1, but 2 assault landings in the Philippines. So great guy to talk to. Fantastic. The other thing that I've sort of talked about this once before about trying to figure out how to get the VSO a vehicle to transport veterans. And we were relying on Rush County to transport some of our veterans. Well, late last week, I found out that Rush County is no longer transporting any veterans outside of their county. So that puts us sort of into a little bit of a bind. I'm averaging, I know at least, I probably had 10 requests so far since I've been here about getting veterans needing rides. Friend of mine here, Chris, him and I have known each other since 1998 as veterans for the Guard. He came in and been helping him through some processes, and he goes, "Hey, Ken, we were talking about this," and he said, "Hey, let me go shake some trees and see what I might be able to find." And I think we found a Ford dealer here in town that has a van that would work for us, and he's already discounted $4,000 off of this van, and could get it to us for $5,000. I haven't had the ability to go to Tammy Winning to see, because she's got a veterans fund for the foundation, so I wanted to talk to her, but I want to put that little bug in your guys' ear ahead of time that this may be a great opportunity to figure out how I can help transport some of our veterans to their VA. It's going to go Cincinnati, Indianapolis, Shelbyville, into those areas. Most of the veterans that we'd be transporting are really our Korea and maybe some of our Vietnam vets, but they're probably more Korea veterans that just are having a hard time getting around anymore. That's really the only thing I had for it. We're still shaking trees on it. Chris has done a great job going to several of the dealers and trying to see if we can wheel and deal and get some things. And I think he's working on getting some other donations from other places. But I just want to put that in your wheelhouse, something to think about, and potentially an opportunity for us to get something. I don't know all the details of what you need for how the county would run that, since I'm really new to this as well. But it is an opportunity that I think at some point we're going to have to figure out how to be able to manage that for our veterans for transportation.
Do we have any like sheriff's department vehicles that they're, as we do these rentals with Enterprise, any of those that we could, I know those are a little bit higher price.
Yeah. So most of those, I don't know, getting a veteran in a Blazer, maybe a little more difficult. We got walkers and stuff. The van's a little more downset, and I think would be more beneficial for them. Because I thought the same thing, but I also know that leasing those vehicles, especially those, are going to be a really higher price when you even do a retail sell, even from a fleet. So, and it's not like we're going to put thousands and thousands of miles on a van that would potentially give us what we would need.
True.
That. Okay. Yeah, it's a real nice van, 2017. It's out of the Ford dealership here in town. So I was surprised he knocked off $4,000 off of it right off the bat. So there's just an opportunity for something for us to think about.
Yeah, absolutely.
And be ready for it.
So yeah, this is gonna have a lot of avenues to get the money together. So this is gonna probably come pretty quick to get the money. We'll just have to figure out how to do the rest of it
Yeah.
with
I'll
plating,
work
all that stuff. So it may come pretty quick.
We can handle that. The approval won't be till our next
Yeah,
commissioner's
absolutely.
meeting if you have everything lined up.
If I get everything done, I'll let Patty know to get me on your list to review.
2 weeks.
But just wanted to give you a heads up that something's finally coming along, and Martin, turning the heat up on that particular project, because I think it's going to come faster
That's
than
great.
what I.
Now, how do we do with drivers?
So on that one, I would probably come back to the county. I would like to get some volunteers, but have them go through either a driving course or have something that shows that they're able to drive, especially in Indianapolis, with as crazy as that is right now. I personally would rather drive in Indianapolis than Cincinnati, down on Vine Street. So, but it is. So I would want them to go through a training scenario. Most likely I would give it to the sheriff's department and we can vet, but also make sure that they are liable to be able to drive a vehicle.
And I'm sure I'll be volunteering at the beginning. I have a transportation company, so I'll volunteer until we get some people set up to do that for sure. That's what I do. I help vets, and Ken and I have been thickest thieves for a long time. So whatever I need to do, I'll do it.
Very good.
Thank you both for looking into that.
Thank you.
Yes.
Gary, anything to add from EMA?
Yeah, I want you guys to know Michael's been doing a really good job. I hate that he left because he's been on the ball ever since he's got there. He has a pretty big list for us to tackle every day, and some days he gets a little overwhelmed, but he takes a couple walks around the room and comes back and, okay, we got this. And
I would say the same thing. I've been impressed with his work ethic and him trying to pull all this stuff together. So
Yeah,
I will agree.
And I thought I'd bring that up publicly. He's doing a good job.
I love seeing the extra communication too, coming to us.
Yes.
About different things.
I,
It's been great, yeah. So thank you for helping him. I know you've been pretty instrumental on that side of it, so.
Hey, we're in this boat together. If he sinks, I sink. Got to keep her floating.
Eric, you want to add anything? Sheriff's Department? Okay. Erica, tourism?
Not much. Fall Festival, we did have over 20,000 people come this year, which is a big deal, a lot more than normal.
Very cool.
Yeah.
You're already working on polling numbers to compare to last year for the ball diamonds?
Oh, yeah, I have,
Yeah, because at the end of the year, I'd like to do a year-to-year analysis so that we can talk about increased traffic.
I've got a spreadsheet up there.
Because I know the numbers that
They're good.
Rob and I have talked about. It shows a drastic jump in folks coming to
Oh,
Decatur County.
Definitely, and our
Along with all-
hotel stays are happy too, real like. I can see a direct correlation. So,
Awesome, very good.
Yeah.
Chris, anything from Parks and Rec?
This thing ends the month, we have our trick or treat and park event, 25th, 2 to 4. So, yeah, I know a lot of people here are actually setting up at it, be there vendors, so should be a good kid event.
And you're working towards the end of the year numbers as well
For the complex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's got the staggered things, but
Fantastic. Leanne, anything from communications?
5 of us just got back from the 911 professional conference last week. It was a great week, a lot of invaluable training, that leadership training, frontline training. All of that was free. We just had to pay for our hotel stays. So it was great. Been able to build some relationships with other counties, people that we can bounce ideas off of. So we appreciate going to that. 911 board approved our 911 upgrade. I went to the county council for approval on that. And hopefully we'll have that transitioned. And once everything passes, we're waiting on advertisement with the general public to finalize it. And then once we get it set up and running, hopefully install would be spring of 2026. It's a big upgrade. I think half of it we're looking at taking from the state 911 fund side, which the money's already there. It's what we saved this money for, obviously. And then the other half coming out of the county cash surplus of the budget. So the money's there. It's not that we need to come up with it. It's there for this reason, and we haven't upgraded it. We are still using the same software as when the old police station that was before we went to the new one. It was in that, and we transitioned that in 2002 because I was on maternity leave then. So it's definitely 25 years plus. So it's needed an upgrade, and that was one of my big things on my agenda for the year.
Good.
The other thing is the 911 for the Greensburg local tower. ECS has done all their work. The light's been fixed. It's been fixed for a couple of weeks now. And they have installed the low band repeater and programmed it. And they also have the 700 repeater on it Right now, we're waiting on the licensing and then we can do some testing, but that project's nearly complete at this point.
So it's a low band active.
Low band, yeah. It'll have a low band. It's got a low band.
I mean, is
because
it
they charge-
functional?
Yes.
Okay.
And then, the last thing that I had was, I already said it. So for the tower and that, so that's it.
And we do have we fully expect to get the licenses and turn the 700 up as well, right? I know
Yes.
originally there was some talk about putting equipment up.
He's expecting it anytime. I just talked to Josh today to see if he had any input while I was gone last week. And he said he's still waiting on it. So, and we can't really do any testing. I said, can we test it? And he said, not until we get that licensing. So it's still at a standstill. And then the other thing is I'm going to be out, just to let you know, I'm in this week and then I'll be on vacation next week. But I've got everybody in place if you guys need anything. So.
Good for you.
Leanne, they had some canisters that they said had to be tuned. Mike got some information that they wasn't sure they'd be able to tune those. Have you heard anything about that?
Josh
Did it
said he
happen?
spoke with Mike on it and he said they were good to go now. They were
Okay.
able to get it taken care of.
Good, because that would have been an extra expense.
Right, and I was kind of anticipating, they turned in their invoicing, and they didn't charge for the programming, so they turned in all three of those estimates that I presented to you guys with no additional cost to tune that low band.
Good.
So I think that was a throw in, and we were very lucky to get them to do it, so.
Thank you to you guys and everyone for getting that done.
We're excited to have that, even though it's rare.
Yeah.
I had mentioned,
Not that rare, right?
yeah, 2 weeks ago, both sites went down again.
Yeah.
so.
That backup's valuable.
We need that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just absolutely money well spent towards it, so.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Chris, does anything from the auditor's office?
We did get our insurance quote back for health insurance. It came back very reasonable, very 0.08 of a percentage of a higher a raise in that. So we feel like that's very good. So the insurance committee has been working on next year's cost to these employees. It hasn't been signed yet. We haven't signed.
Got that ready to be
Ready to go. Okay. So yes, that's something we've worked on. As far as the our office, we are still waiting. The Senate Bill 1 changed how they do deductions. So a lot of them are turned from deductions to credits. Homestead, over 65. Veteran states stay. So our software systems have just had to scramble. So we are waiting on them to come before we can really work on it. But they're piling up. So we're waiting on all of that to get redone. But other than that, we're good.
One more thing.
Yes, Gary.
She mentioned the fall festival. Tomorrow morning at 8:30, we're going to have an action report or meeting to make the report for the public safety side. And we think we got at least one person from the committee coming. We was hoping that he could get a couple, 2 or 3 more. But probably anybody else that wants to be involved with that, we got plenty of room. Just thought we'd go over the public safety side and see what went well, and what we can work on better.
Good, bad, ugly. What do you think?
I think it went pretty well, actually, for the most part. Got the bus set up and I think it worked pretty well.
It seemed
The
like
biggest complaint I heard was that the air conditioner in the bus is not good. But other than that, things went pretty well, I think.
okay.
All right, there's nothing else. I would entertain a motion to recess
So moved.
or recess.